God in heaven, please give me the wisdom to share this properly. There's so much here, and it would take too long. But I will start here. 12/16/2023. He made it. He made it. He made it. That's where I started. There's so much. We the saints. This is when heaven comes down to earth. Come back down to the earth in a spirit to our human bodies. There's just so much. He said simple, make it simple. I start with this because of hope. This is God on his throne and me and the pool. And he made it. Oh. But that's not what's important. It's just what's coming. Okay, so the throne room is what he's wanting me to talk about. You just bring them both up, but it wasn't really it. Somebody was asking about the tree of life and how is it made. And so there's a lot here. So I need to describe the throne room for you to understand the tree of life and how it's made. So if you look over here, this is his throne. And we actually have a bed back here to the side, and there's this big window, and the light comes through this massive window. And there's this pond behind it. It's our Garden of Eden behind the throne room. Like here's the wall, the throne room, and his throne is right here, and here's the glass. And there's this massive pool that water runs down through, and it's massive, it's beautiful. And so the water, as you see, like this is the pool, it runs here, and there's actually, I'm not supposed to talk about this is very private, but there's a waterfall. And he kept asking me, Robin, don't forget the grapevines, and that's fine, but they weren't really there at first. But eventually, I'm getting ahead of myself. Then the water runs under the throne. Okay, like here's the throne surface, and the water runs under the throne into an actual pool of water. For a long time, when we're on the earth, this is actually a pool of water. But when we go up into outer space, it's made of glass. It changes, So when he says he looks down through what they call like a pool or a looking glass, well, he's in heaven looking down on the earth. But on the earth, this is a pool. It's a pool. Okay? And there's little bits of water that flows, and it makes mist in the air. And with the sun shining through, that's why everybody sees rainbows, because the mist from the little bits of water, see how there's pools that flow right there? And it's not as loud as this, because see how those are really like high up? But it makes a mist. So when he described in the Bible rainbows, that's because from the mist. And the actual tile is this actual tile that I have here. They use this in saltwater pools because it doesn't corrode. I can't think of what it's called. I had it all written down. A covered surface for bathing pool, water always flowing, places sections for the 12 appointed apostles. See, all this stuff, when they describe it in the Bible, like he's in the center and they're all in a circle, well, that's like outer space heaven stuff. On the earth, it's a little different. I mean, he may do it that way because there's like multiple designs, but this is the basic, this is what I remember. And visions and dreams. I mean, I've lived it. I don't know how else to explain it. and the bed is it's beautiful. And there's these like lounge chairs that we store here on each side, but then we bring them around to kind of lay on, because I mean, you know, you can't just sit all the time. And let's see, there's all kinds of stuff. It's just wonderful. Okay, so the water, it flows around here, and then it comes and it flows up under here, and there's a whole nother something else that goes on, okay? But here's the back portion. There's things I can't talk about because it's about their security, okay? There's security points, checkpoints, and things like that that I can't talk about here because, well, when you're there, you're not supposed to realize you're in the most secure place in the whole world. You know, it's not like you're supposed to just realize it. A lot of the people, you know how the King of England, they have the royal guard at front that sits every hour. I think they change with a big fuzzy hat. Well, he does have people like that, but not they don't have the big fuzzy hat thing. Although, I mean, they may one year. I mean, you know, you change up what they look like. I mean, they're like at Christmas time, it's different, different attire, but it doesn't feel like they're going to cut you down to the ground in 5 seconds or less. You know, it's more of like a festive feel, although they are very capable of doing exactly that. Okay, so enough about that. So there's only so much. He said, keep it short, Robin. You don't need to just go on and on, because what he was asking me about was the tree of life. How is that formed? And so there's something else that happens too. At some point, a grapevine comes up in the tree of life, and how that happens is so sweet. I kind of go back to this picture here. So the King of Kings and Lord of Lords and I, we're here lounging, you know, and we have our little toddler running around, and somebody brings the most wonderful grapes. I don't know if it's possible to say the best tasting grapes in the whole world, like ever. Okay? They just bring them in a basket. They just show up. I'm not even sure where they came from. They just show up. Somebody somewhere on this planet brought fresh grapes to the throne, and they set them down on a basket. And I'm sure there's a card, like people keep an inventory of this stuff, you know, when it's like tithing, you write it down, you know. I want to send a card, thank you, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, thank you, it's so wonderful, you know, stuff like that, right? Well, we don't really think about it too much. Well, my son, one of our children, little toddler child, is like, we're talking, enjoying people, you know. It's like going to I don't want to say a Super Bowl party at your home where there's people you just love to see. You're so happy to see them. You're talking, you're enjoying it, and it's not that you're not paying attention to your little kid, you know, but he's running around up here, and that's part of the reason why he eventually covers this over, because he's worried one of the kids will fall in. But anyway, we swim down here and stuff. We bathe down here, and there's showers. Anyway, so we're doing stuff, you know, talking, enjoying ourselves, and somebody just giggles. I don't know if it's me or somebody else, and our attention is drawn to our son, and he is covered in grape juice. He's eaten them all. I mean, dang near all of them. And then one just bounced off like boop, 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 and went off into the water. I was like, oh no. I was like, don't worry about it, honey. He was going to go after it. It was that good, okay? I mean, like eating himself sick. And so it goes through the filtering system, right? So it's like boop, 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 and then it filters around, you know, and then it goes over the other side, and it, let me show you really quick. So the pool has these traps in it, right? Like this is one here, okay? And then it goes around, boop, boop, boop. It goes all the way around, floating in the water. Didn't really even notice it. It's like, not worried. And so it lands in the trap. Well, we're really busy. You know, there's a lot going on and stuff. Kids eating, you know, fresh nuts, fruits, berries, nuts mainly. Some seeds go in. And can you imagine, let's just take a minute here. This water coming under the throne, around, filtered there, the air in there. This pool here is a saltwater pool, but they still put these little chlorine tablets in there just in case. But the air in my bedroom is right there through those blinds. The air in there is so clear. I keep the temperature at 69 degrees, which is cold, but you know, germs don't really grow in the cold, and with this cool saltwater air in there, I mean, I used to have asthma really bad. Like, I had an inhaler. I almost died once, and it was bad. And I don't have asthma anymore. The air in the throne room is heavenly, just heavenly. So these nuts are sitting there. I don't know if you can imagine. I guess the filter just didn't get changed for a year. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? It's like we kept changing, like it's always clean, you know? And the tree literally burst forth from there. One of them. The tree of life. You know, the one in the Garden of Eden that's got all the 12 nuts, it's 12 seasons, all that kind of stuff. And God got pissed off because that was going to happen again at heaven. So here you are in outer space in heaven, and there's something a little more to it than that. If you can imagine, the tree of life is more than just about fruit. You know, meat. You know, they call nut trees meat trees. It's a little more than that. The root is in us. I have one of the roots in my right leg, and the Spirit kept asking me, "Where's your root? Where's your root?" And he kept pointing to my left leg, and I'm like, "No, it's not there. What are you talking about?" I'm thinking like I'm being attacked by Satan, right? Like trying to discover, you know, the tree of life and how is it made and how can I destroy it and ruin God's reign, right? And then finally, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, there's a man on this earth, and he's like, "You need to take this." And he says, "Here." And I feel him in the Spirit pat my left leg and say, "Here, you need to take this. This is the root of the tree of life." And I'm like, I didn't even get a chance to say, "But I already have one. What are you doing?" And he goes, "No, I got to be sure you make it." And so I feel him go, it's there. You have it. It's yours. You know, take it. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll hold it for you. It's going to be okay." You know, I'm like, he's that worried. Worried isn't the right word, because you're not to worry, right? But yet God does everything. So if God is busy planning everything, and he says, "You need to take this," you take it, and you hold it, and you keep it safe. And you realize that this is purposeful. So what happened in heaven was, I came in the throne room, and he got up, and I just kind of, I huddled behind him. You know how a man can stand right here, and he's actually facing that way, and you can kind of curl up behind him between his shoulder blades, you know, like for warmth and protection. And I think that's when he discovered that he had the root in him, because a tree just burst forth from both of us, because I had the right one and he had not the left one. But if you take two people and they face each other, You know, if you have two people and they face each other, one person's left is the other person's right. So like when you're facing each other and hugging, like this is my right foot, right? Well, his right foot would be right here. So when you're hugging, it's two right feet. And that's when he realized, oh my gosh, I've got the root on me, you know? And he's like, I can't have this. I'm over here. I'm war, you know? The reign of Satan. You got to hold this. I got to be sure you make it. It's going to be okay. So I stand next to him, kind of curled up behind him, and the tree just burst forth. It just burst forth. And I just hear God saying, not in here. We're not doing that in here. Because it's like God can like rewind time, right? So we're standing here, and the thing bursts up, the canopy's all over the throne room. It's just like this massive tree, and although it's nice, like, you know, hey, there's fruit. There's leaves. He's like, this is a mess. He says, you can't do that here. So we both, we go outside, and then the tree happens. But anyway, we move it. We pick it up and move it. But it's a conglomeration of seeds that come together, and it's like, you know, the sequoia tree. I've written so much more about this. You know how the sequoia trees live thousands of years, and how the olive trees live thousands of years. It's like, do they even have an expiration date? Well, I have, this is the garden behind the throne room. And anyway, he doesn't want me to talk about that, but we planted two of the most beautiful olive trees together right here. So apparently one of the olive seeds, you know, gets in. It's crazy. But anyway, whenever I'm back here doing stuff and he's in the throne room working, there's a bench here, and I'd hang signs, you know, dinner's ready, or I love you, or I'm thinking of you, or, you know, stuff like that. And there is a time when we put fish in here, and he loved it very much, because, I mean, we live here. We're like we live here. This is our living room. And it's like, if you think about this, if you were Jesus, let's go with Jesus, and Jesus wants to spend all his time with you, every one of you, he loves you. The Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, right? We're Spirit-filled, and God is with us always. Well, what happens when he's in the flesh? What happens? We all want to see him. We all want to spend time with him. So if he has to drive an hour through Jerusalem traffic to get to work, to see you, now maybe that hour is good. I've commuted to jobs, right? But what about him resting? Do you sleep in that car? Do you need to? No, we just put a bed here, and eventually we have a bedroom. But we're here. Do you know, if you can understand, even if you can't go to Jerusalem and see the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, just to see him on YouTube, on TV, to see the joy and the love for his family, for you. And if you are able to save up and to go, you want to see him, right? So everything is designed in a way that is restful for him. And yet, time with all of you, this is precious. Precious. So nobody really goes back to the garden. We grow our food here to eat. And all the time that I've lived with the Lord, I've never been poisoned. And you'll think, I mean, in visions and dreams, okay? If you will. But I'm like the spirit. It's like I've lived everything, and I've never been poisoned. Monarchies get poisoned. There's attempts on their lives, and you don't need to be worrying about things like that. And so we grow our own food. Sometimes things come in, but a lot of it we just grow ourselves in the back. And there's other gardens. There will be gardens all over the place. There will be gardens of Eden for people to visit and see, and just understand that food heals you. God made it so that food heals you. I've talked about salt and iodized salt. If you go to the store and you get some kosher salt and you see iodine salt, if that salt does not have iodine in it, they have to label it. It says this does not contain iodine. It's an essential ingredient to good health or something like that. And so a lot of these salts don't have that. A lot of the foods don't have iodized salt anymore. That's why we keep... Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But the point is, the tree of life is something so amazing, and yet it's so very simple. There's a time in the future. There's a time in the future that he chops it down at the end of the 1,000-year reign. And it's an incredible thing. I shouldn't show you this. This is a park that we make that people see. There's just so much in here. I've tried to write things down, and anyway, different things. Things that need to be remembered. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I need to stay on this one subject because there's so much here I'm not even telling you. Let's see. I think maybe I drew more or not. That might be it on this one. I couldn't write this down before. It was difficult. There's a lot of things that happen in the throne room. Special places that I'll cover one day. Very special, beautiful places that I just... And this is all stuff from the throne room. And part of it, that letter Tav, I've got to finish what I'm doing before we can get started anew. And that's where we're at. But yeah, he wants me to write all this down. And this is part of the Grand Covenant. And anyway, I don't want to bore you with this stuff. He was asking about the tree of life, and he said, make it quick. Don't make it long. But this really was made a place prepared of and by God. And he wanted me to see it and understand it. And there's a hot tub over there. It's big. I think it'll seat 6 adults. And there's a time when we use this as a baptismal. Can you imagine being baptized by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords and the apostles? It gets to be a bit too much for him, and we build others. We end up splitting up the guys to help make everybody's time valuable and precious, and it's home for me. It's my home. It's where I go. Still waters. for the longest time, they would prune the tree of life, and to keep people from messing with it, he would take the wood, and he used it to build a place in back here for us to kind of, how you can go on vacation somewhere and, well, we can go on vacation, but we're still here. We can go camping, out in the garden. And anyway, there's so much of this. It's just private and yet wonderful. So very wonderful. I love you very much. He says, Robin, you could just leave this open and let people read it all. Oh, so about the fishing. I don't know if we'll really do that. It's like that tree of life that came up over here, and he said, not inside. Well, it came up, it grew, and then he rewound time, and he's like, no, not inside. We're not doing that inside. So it probably won't start inside, and yet it might. The very beginnings of it might, or maybe he'll just see this video and go, oh my gosh, we just need to capture all these and realize that precious flowing water. The Dead Sea has unique properties in it, and the water flowing has unique healing and growing properties, and it's just wonderful, and it's just seeds from wonderful fruit. I don't want to get specific, but I will tell you something. How do I say this? He will anoint kings over this earth, over kingdoms. And he'll grow more trees. There's multiple trees of life. And what I mean is, once you figure out how to grow them, you just make more. There's an orchard. It mentions something about an orchard in the Bible somewhere. But a kingdom, one of the greatest honors the King of Kings and Lord of Lords can do to any kingdom is to give them a tree of life in their own kingdom. And he does that. It's an incredible event, an incredible thing. I've written about it, and there's more to it. There's things that happen at the end of the 1,000 years that's part of the war. That's just it's epic. It's epic, and I've written it down. But that's the tree gets pruned, and it's amazing. There's this thing that I wrote, and I say I wrote, it's God wrote it through me. And I don't know if it's what makes the King of Kings and Lord of Lords the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. If you take away his iron rod, say you have the iron rod, does that make you him? No. His power doesn't come from his iron rod. Does his wooden staff make him that? No. You could take that from him, and it wouldn't make him. It wouldn't make you the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Is it the throne itself? No. No, he can sit anywhere, and he's still the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Is it the tree of life? See, they come for him. They come for me. They come for his kingdom at the end of the 1,000-year reign. Is it all the gold? And it's amazing. He melts down some of the gold into the floors, because they will take a knee. They'll be on their knees scraping that shit up. Excuse my French, but it's genius what he does. He decimates his kingdom himself, because that's not what made him king. He chops the tree of life. He prunes it. Water bursts forth from the Dome of the Rock. And I say the Dome of the Rock, there's these water towers that are full, like nuclear missile silos, massive towers around his throne that all the water comes from. Because I told him about, there's this engineer named George Belcheff, who was an engineer for the town of North Lake. And he said, Robin, the biggest problem we have with water towers is there's these pumps that have to push the water up to the tower. We have power outages, the pumps run down, the big expense. And these pumps can be, very expensive, $150,000 pumps to pump these waters, to give the pressure, and the water tower holds the pressure. And he says, we get such water pressure from Fort Worth that if we can just get the tower high enough that pressure will fill it up, that fills up that tower, and then the pressure from it running down to the next tower fills it up. And he says, you have 5 water towers all the way around the town, and you never have a water pump. And it's just the pressure from the height that pushes it through. And then each tower pours out water into those neighborhoods. And you never have to have electricity. I mean, you could have a pump maybe for some emergency or something. But if it's done right, you never have to have water pressure. There is so much water in the towers around his kingdom. And he just bursts them out. It's incredible what he does. He drowns them. When they first attack, when they first come for his kingdom, he floods them, just like God did at Noah's Ark. He floods them out. And then they come back again, and that's a whole nother battle. It is the most epic thing. It is incredible. What makes a king a king? And it is not his regalia. It's not his staff. It's not his crown. It's his love for his people. The way he loves me, the way he loves his children, makes him the king. The king. He becomes the king. He shows the world, the whole world, that all this means nothing. It means nothing. It's about his children, his wife, his bride, about his bride and his children's souls, our eternity. He just is. And I can't even describe how much I love him. The tree of life. And I'll tell you something else too. Living water, actual living water that you can drink and heal you, it will exist one day. Right now we are getting the spirit-filled living water. But one day, and they're working on it, there is a water that renews your physical form, your life. It's incredible. It's incredible what God does. He himself. It's incredible to watch him work. So many names he has. You could call him the destroyer of worlds. And it's incredible. He does it to save us. Everything he does is to save us. You see those people walking back in Gaza that have nothing. That's us. When you have God, when you are God's child, all you need is God. They can destroy everything. And you have God himself. And we have each other. Can you imagine the tree of life basically caught up in a lint trap, right? Like in your dryer. Oh, so amazing. He is so amazing. It's wonderful. I show you this now, but nobody ever really sees this. It's just, every man needs a place, you know? I mean, think about it. Adam, you know, and Eve in the garden. You see and hear people all day long, and you need a place where you can go outside, you know? This place was made of and by God to teach. So if you hear me, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, oh, do we put fish in here to go fishing? He said, Robin, it's such a mess. It's such a mess, you know, fish poop and stuff. And I sit there and I look back or forward, or visions and dreams, you know, future, past, you know, it's the future, but it's the past behind me. And I just remember how happy you were. And it's like, well, we can find other places to go fishing. You know, these kingdoms, they tithe. Their people tithe. They're blessed. He blesses them. Just visiting there blesses them. That's how incredible he is. Just him visiting blesses their land, their people. In an earlier video, I talked about Revelations and how the church is judged, and it's just no more. It's not that it's no more. It just, under the King of Kings and Lord of Lords reign, it becomes what it's always meant to be, a school. I can't really even, there's so much to this. And it's just perfect perfection. I've also had the Spirit ask me so many times, I've heard the King of Kings and Lord of Lords read the part in the Bible, like discovering it for the first time when it says we're given these crowns and we throw them at his feet. I heard him, he was devastated. It was all he had to give us, you know? They're just rings. And he's devastated. He says, he didn't understand why we threw him at his feet. And I really didn't. Mine had stars on it. I put it on his head because it looks so much better on him. He's so handsome. And if somebody gives you something precious, you know, I can always see it when it's on him. But that's not it. He has me wear it. But it's how do you say this and not sound rude? So you're given a ring, okay? Or 5 rings, or however many. Just let this sink in for a minute. You have these in your hand. Like you're done, right? That's it. It's over. And you realize something. Were you really working for these rings, these crowns? I mean, it's wonderful. Like he's right there. He's putting them on your head. It's like the greatest moment ever, right? Okay, then what? We go home. I guess that's it. Yay. Go team. You just sit there and you just think, is this it? Was this it? And that's not it. When you have the heart of a saint, God's child, I choose God And I give God all my choices. I give everything to God. It's His. He will make more out of it than I ever will. And yet He's like, Robin, I'm honoring you. Why don't you understand? I need to do this. And I need to take your hand. I need to do this for you. And you think to yourself, 1,000 years of peace. Here, take it. It's just gold. You can spend it better than I ever could. You can use it to teach. Sell it. Do whatever you need to. You can pay the streets in gold and people will donate just to walk on it and see it. To tithe. To get them to realize that your plan, God's plan, is better than what we could ever realize. On our own, we're nothing. At some point, we will build heaven. We're working on it now. It's just make it on earth as it is in heaven. It takes time to build these things. To build a heaven in outer space. What's wonderful is He told us how big it's going to be. And then there's multiple heavens, more are built. And that's just it. You know, gold is one of the best conductors of solar energy. Here, take it. Take it. Take it. 1,000 years, that's my commitment. An eternity with you. Take it. Tell me what you need me to do. What would you have of me? Anything is yours. It's all yours. I love you. Take it. Take it. We love you. That is it. We honor you too. We have nothing God wants or needs unless He gives it to us. He gives us precious things that we can give the Lord. Like Samuel was given to God's kingdom. So I'm going a little long, so I'll cut this short. I should probably leave this, right, with just a realization of something so simple. Something so very simple, right? Oh, if I can walk here. My leg's still asleep. So, what do I leave you with? The tree of life, right? No, not this one, Robin. Let's go over here. Let's see this. And isn't that beautiful? His throne would be right there in the garden behind. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that's just it. His throne room. To God the glory. I love you so much. Stay spirit-filled every day and covered in God's holy armor, sword and shield and scepter. And thank you, Lord, for activating that holy armor, sword and shield and scepter. I love you guys very much. Our children. In the name of the Son, Jesus Christ, amen. God bless you.